From our class spokespersons. Each class has chosen a spokesperson. The 94th basic class has chosen Philip Santiago, Aberdeen Township Police Department.
Good evening. I'd like to start by thanking Brookdale Community College for hosting this commencement tonight. To our families, friends, and honored guests, thank you for being here today to witness the graduation of the Monmouth County Police Academy's 94th Basic Course for Police Officers. For us, today is the culmination of months of work, dedication, and mental and physical toughness. Today we feel pride and reap the rewards of our efforts. We feel a great deal of satisfaction in what we've accomplished since January 16th, 2018. Along with this pride and satisfaction in our work, we also feel an overwhelming amount of humility and gratitude towards those who have contributed to our success. On behalf of Class 94, I'd like to thank all of our families, all of our spouses, parents, in-laws, significant others, and all other relatives that have shown us this level of support throughout this whole ordeal. We are humbled and grateful for everything you've done for us. I would also like to thank those people who have worked hard to see us succeed in this academy. I would like to specifically thank Director Breckenridge and his team of training officers, drill instructors, and PT instructors. You all have done so much to make sure we will receive the absolute best instruction and experience possible. You all have gone the extra mile to ensure that each one of us is personally prepared for the job we will soon begin.
Hey everybody, John Van Dyke here for New Jersey Exposed. Today is Tuesday, September 13th, 2022. Time is 4:55 p.m. Jersey time. Okay, we got a follow-up story to a bad cop here in Monmouth County. Last year he got caught doing something that he should not have been doing. And he looks like he's made a deal and he's went to court and he has been sentenced. So let's find out about this fine, upstanding, well-trained professional. You know, the kind that are out there always risking our lives as they protect and serve the government. This has to do with an Aberdeen Township police officer by the name of Philip Santiago. He's quite a character, I must say. I'll run down some of his we'll go down his resume real quick. Well, he started out as a police dispatcher for Aberdeen Township, and I guess he proved himself worthy enough, and the chief stepped up to the plate, I'm assuming, and recommended him to become a police officer, and the taxpayers paid for him to go to the police academy, and he went, and he was such a great student there that his fellow students wanted him to give the commencement speech. So how about that, huh? Head of his class, going to give the commencement speech, and now he's, I guess he's giving a speech to the court about how sorry he is for what he did. So here we go. This is on NJ.com. It actually was released on the Monmouth County Prosecutor's website. They released it a couple days ago. I was waiting to see if Aberdeen Township Police would acknowledge this on their Facebook page, and well, they didn't disappoint me and they didn't do it. Okay, so here we are. Ex-NJ cop who tampered with his own drug test, sentenced to prisoner, prosecutor says. And there it is right there. We're going to read the NJ.com story. All right, let's find out. A former Aberdeen Township police officer was sentenced Friday to nearly a year in jail for tampering with evidence, including his own drug test on 2 separate occasions last year, authorities said. So one of the questions I have for Aberdeen Township Police, or maybe in Santiago if he wants to chime in, is why did they send him for a drug test? Was this a random thing, or is this a situation where they suspected something was going on? And my question to Santiago, what were your drugs that you were trying to cover up by destroying your drug test? Was it marijuana? Was it cocaine? Was it heroin, meth? Was it steroids? I got a feeling it might have been steroids. He looks like that kind of guy. Okay, so let's carry on. Philip M. Santiago, 35, of Keyport, received a sentence of 364 days in the Monmouth County Correctional Institution, followed by 3 years of probation after he previously pleaded guilty to 2 counts of 4th-degree tampering with physical evidence, according to a statement from the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office. He was also barred from serving as a police officer or any public service in New Jersey. Now, the reason he's getting 364 days, if you don't know, is that keeps him in the county jail. So that way he's closer to home, to his gang chapter, and no doubt they'll put him in protective custody and he'll get a little more privileges. He'll probably get a little more food, second helpings, things like that. He'll be safe. They're not going to put him in general population. In January 2021, Santiago intentionally tampered with a drug test he had been ordered to take by piercing it with the pin on the back of his police badge, rendering it unable to be processed, the office says. You know, if you got a problem, this is the way I see it. You got a situation like this where you know you're not going to pass the test, that it's probably a good idea to go to your chief or the captain or whatever and say, look, I smoked a little herb with a badge bunny, or maybe I did a line of coke, or, you know, I've been at the gym and some guys gave me some steroids and I'm just not going to pass that test, chief. Chief, if you give me 30 days or 2 more weeks, let me try again and I should be okay. Sorry about this, you know, I'm young, dumb, and don't know better. But he didn't do that. He, with intent, he tried to cover it up. He tried to get himself out of this situation. And I think in most situations where you know you're not going to be able to cover your tracks, that it's probably best just to come clean. Because it's not like he did it 1 time, he did it 2 times. Which means that whatever he was doing, he was unable or unwilling to give it up. Okay. An investigation by the office also revealed that in May 2021, while on duty, Santiago deleted a video from a cell phone belonging to a suspect who had just been beat up and arrested. Mistake there. Had just been arrested by the Aberdeen Police Department. Officials said the video showed the interaction between the suspect and the officers leading up to the arrest. Now, what I suspect is that Santiago did something that he didn't want the rest of the world to see, and I got a feeling the other officer or officers on the scene did not cover for Santiago and said, yeah, the guy he was recording, and you know, these other officers showing a little integrity, they're not taking the fall for it. So they probably confirmed what the suspect said, and there we are. And but you know, there's a couple things here. You know, he destroyed evidence for one. That's one thing he did. The other big thing he did, and I wonder if the suspect knows this, or maybe he just made a deal to get out of what trouble he was in. But that is First Amendment retaliation. You're recording that, your interaction with the police officer. It's your right to do so. If his recording was not interfering with the investigation, then he should be allowed to continue to do it. And that officer took his phone and deleted the video. So obviously, I repeat myself again, Santiago had something to hide. The officer did not elaborate on why he deleted the video. Well, we all know why he deleted the video, because he's a bad cop and he was covering up something he did. Because a well-trained professional hero, out risking his life and our lives as he protects everybody, would not do that. He would have nothing to be embarrassed of. It's only when you're embarrassed so you know you did something wrong. So that's the only reason to delete that video. Santiago was criminally charged and suspended from the department in September of 2021. So that's a year ago, authorities said. He had been sworn in as a police officer in 2018 after previously serving as an emergency dispatcher in Aberdeen. And here we go. We always got to get the disclaimer. These disclaimers are always at the end of these bad cop stories. Using one's badge, a symbol of public trust, wrong. To break the law is an affront to all law enforcement officers who understand the duties and responsibilities that come with wearing the badge. Acting Monmouth County Prosecutor Lori Linsky said in a statement, "There is no place in law enforcement for such conduct, and this defendant's actions are not representative of the vast majority of officers in Monmouth County who serve with honor and integrity." Well, I want to say that Monmouth County has had a few bad apples in the past few years. It's somewhere around, the count's up around 7 or 8, maybe 10. I'm not going to go down the list. So anyway, let's see if I can bring up a picture here of our hero. Here he is. Hold on, folks. There we go. There he is. Take a good look at him. Isn't he a fine, upstanding, well-trained professional hero? Just the kind of man you want showing up at your doorstep. He might be strung out on drugs and he showed up, right? But that I'm just alleging that. But he did foil his drug test, so obviously he had some kind of drug in him that he was out to cover up. So there he is. What a guy, huh? So now, secondly, or another thing here to add on to this, I kind of feel bad for Santiago. I feel bad for you, buddy. You got a broad deal, man. Jake Pascucci from Long Branch, he got drunk and killed a woman, and he was originally 364 days. I think he's now got it down to 180. Santiago, you better go hire Pascucci's lawyer, because Pascucci spent 180 days for killing a woman, and you're going to spend 364 days for botching up your drug tests and deleting a video. That seems, I mean, personally, Santiago, I don't think you deserve 364 days. I think 90 days in a pokey probably would have been good, put you on probation and kick you out of the law enforcement field. But hey, I wasn't a judge, right? So obviously, Santiago, nobody's going to bat for you on that one. The chief didn't call up over the prosecutor's office and say, hey, take it easy on the kid. He's just a little stupid, he didn't know any better. But you know what, Santiago, this is my feelings about it. You were a dispatcher. You're just a lonely dispatcher sitting there behind that broken down radio system they had over at Aberdeen. I was there one day. I saw what they were using. And you were just sitting there hoping one day you could be part of the gang. And finally one day the chief said, you know what, we're going to make you a gang member and we're going to send you off to the academy. The chief, he went to bat for you, Santiago, and you screwed up. Secondly, you embarrass your fellow officers, you embarrass your chief, you embarrass your fellow officers, and you embarrass your fellow classmates at the academy. That they all say, we want Phil to do the commencement speech, and here you are. And I gotta tell you, Phil, that was quite a crock of crap you put out there at that speech, and I'll include that at the end of this video here. That's quite, he was quite a BSer, you're quite a BSer, Santiago. And finally, I talked about this story a little while back in some other video where one day I was working and a man comes up to me, a rather large, about my height, but a lot bigger than I was, probably about 225, 250 pounds, comes up to me, goes, hey. I go, yeah. Because can I talk to you privately? I go, sure. So we go off to a little cubby hole area in where I'm at, and he says, hey, what's your problem with police? I says, what makes you think I got a problem with police? Well, you know, you say all these bad things and everything. I says, I say bad things about bad cops. I said, do you support bad cops? He goes, no. Well, neither do I. So things kind of calmed down a little bit, and then he got onto the thing, you know, why am I targeting Santiago? He's a good guy. Well, he might be a good guy, but you know what? Deep down, he's not a good guy, because he, not once, but several times, acted shady. So why would you defend somebody like that? I'm not defending him. He belongs right where he's going, in jail. You know, it's good. The way I look at Santiago, you're one less bad cop on the road with a badge. And that's the way you, Bill, I think that was his name, that's the way I think you should look at it too. One less bad cop out there. And you know, it's funny because he was actually a corrections officer. He was a ranking corrections officer, brass badge officer. And he did say to me, you know, there's assholes in every profession. I go, yeah, but these assholes in your profession hurt people and cost taxpayers money. So why would you defend somebody like that? So, you know, maybe Santiago on the surface is a good guy, nice guy, but It's the old saying I keep saying, good people can do bad things and bad people can do good things. But it's the bad things that hurt people. And those people who do those kind of things. So I have no sympathy for Mr. Santiago. He's a loser. You're a loser, Santiago. You lost the best job, best paying job you will ever have in your life. You got booted, buddy. And you're going to spend a year in jail. And you're going to go try to get a job. I don't even think Walmart will hire you as a greeter because you got this charge against you, sentence against you. So you're done, buddy. I don't know what you're going to do. You're going to be working minimum wage jobs, I guess. You're going to have to go somewhere where they're real desperate. Or maybe you could call up Jake Pascucci, because I hear he was working for a landscaper, so maybe you can get a job with Jake Pascucci. Tell old Jake, tell him John Van Dyke, New Jersey Exposed sent you. Okay, one other thing I wanted to add to this Aberdeen story I forgot to put in there is this press release from the prosecutor's office came out on Friday. And so I went and I checked Aberdeen Township Police Department's Facebook page, and they only had on there, and they put that out, it says 6 days ago, so that's a couple days, excuse me, that's what, I don't know, a day or two before the press release from the prosecutor's office came out. But anyway, so it says 6 days ago, which was their closest release to that thing at that time that I looked at, and all they did was put all their arrest blotters, all the great stuff that they're doing, you know, serving the public, which really they're serving the government. They just put down there all the people they arrested, things like that. You know, they have no problem embarrassing you or I or anybody else who gets arrested. They have no problem. Put your name up there on Facebook and embarrass you, and you're not even convicted of anything, but they're going to embarrass you anyway by putting your name out there, and then when somebody Googles your name, it'll come back because your name's out there on the internet. So, but when it came to their own, mum's the word. They got nothing to say. That just shows you, you know, how you know, they don't want you to know what they're up to. That's really what it comes down. They want you to think everything is hunky-dory and they're just the best thing since sliced cheese and the wheel. But the truth be told is they had a bad cop and they don't want to own it and they don't want to say anything about it. So anyway, so I'm going to read to you what I wrote. Let's see if I can bring it up. Okay. So here's what I posted right there. Says, you forgot to include your very own well-trained professional hero, former Aberdeen police officer, Phil Santiago. You have no problem embarrassing members of the public you arrest, but when it comes to your own, you have nothing to say. Put your big boy blue pants on and own it. And I'm surprised no Blue Willie gobblers or bootlickers or anything like that came back and said anything. There was one gentleman by the name of Sam Schreiner, S-C-H-E-I-N-E-R, who said, "Well said, John." And he gave me a smiley face. So thumbs up to that gentleman there for having the balls to come and support me on that matter. So they had nothing to say. So okay, fine, but they will not acknowledge. I gave him a little time. It's in the newspaper. It's finally out there, not just a press release from the prosecutor's office. So I figure, well, you know, once it's in the newspaper, maybe they'll say something, but they don't say something. They keep it quiet, you know? All right, so we'll put the link in the description, and you can read the story if you like. There's not really much more to read about it. Another bad cop. Out of circulation. I'm John Van Dyke for New Jersey Exposed. Till next time, people.